Hello, this is Gerard Molenkamp and Deanna Chenoweth with Witch Trials of Salem. The witch trials in Salem took place in 1692. During the trials and in court, anyone could get accused of being a witch if they did one thing against the church, even a minor thing. In the podcast, we will discuss the actions of numerous residents of Salem that are held against them in the witch trials. These actions are not out of the ordinary and are pretty typical for the people back then.
One resident, Giles Corey, got his wife accused because he said she reads books. In the play of The Crucible, Giles Corey says, quote, "Martha, my wife, I have waked at night many a time and found her in a corner, reading a book. It discomforts me. Last night marked this. I tried and could not say my prayers. And then she closed her book and walks out of the house, and suddenly marked this, I could pray again," unquote. In the play, this is a great example of an ordinary event that someone turns into witchcraft. Many people read books. Giles Corey, an old man, just started going to church, so it seems a little far-fetched that Martha was bewitching him, and instead she was just reading a book and Giles was just forgetting his prayers.
Another example of a typical daily thing that people believe is witchcraft is when John Proctor plows fields on Sundays and when he doesn't go to church on Sundays. This is a pretty comical example because many people plow fields on Sundays and many people don't go to church on Sunday. The reason why John Proctor doesn't go to church is because Abigail is there, not because he is possessed. The people of Salem see this as an act of the devil, and they believe that John Proctor is associating with the devil because of this. This may look bad, but it doesn't mean that John Proctor is a bad person or even a witch. It could rain the whole entire next week, and Sunday could be the only time to plow the fields. Many people plow on Sundays, and many people skip church, so this event is pretty typical and isn't bizarre at all.
Our third example is Elizabeth Proctor. In The Crucible, Elizabeth says, referring to Abby, quote, "The girl is murder. She must be ripped out of the world," unquote. This may be the most ridiculous accusation of all. Being accused for saying that Abby is murderer and that Abby should be killed is actually a precise statement by Elizabeth. Abby falsely accused many people and they died as a result of Abby's accusations. Elizabeth's statement is also a pretty typical statement that many people say. This is also a horrible accusation because Elizabeth said it during the middle of an argument, and she really didn't mean to say it.
Our final example of ordinary events that are used to make people look guilty of witchcraft is Rebecca Nurse. Rebecca was accused of being a witch because she calms Betty and she was supposedly possessed by the devil. The way she calms Betty is just like a grandmother would. Rebecca has 26 grandchildren, so this would come easy to her. The Putnams and Paris accused Rebecca because the devil is the only person that can calm his servants. The Putnams also have only one child compared to Rebecca's 11, so it makes sense for the Putnams to be jealous of Rebecca Nurse. This is a little bizarre for Rebecca Nurse to be accused of for being a witch. The only reason why they accused Rebecca was because they were jealous.
Being paranoid is the suspicion and mistrust of people or their actions without evidence or justification. During the witch trials, everyone was paranoid because the punishment for being a witch was hanging. So it caused everyone to start accusing everyone else so they would get the blame off their back. They pointed out every small detail that everyone did so they could point the blame towards other people.
Drawing false conclusions can lead to a disastrous end, just like the witch trials did. All the judges believed the false accusations from Abigail, Mercy, Mary, and Susanna. It led to the death of innocent people like Goody Osborne, Giles Corey, John Proctor, and many others. This is why drawing false conclusions can lead to disastrous ends.
Thank you for listening to the Salem Witch Trials podcast. Deanna Chenoweth and Gerard Molenkamp signing off.